Good morning, everyone. In last session, we started with the time domain analysis, our new unit. So, in that, we have seen some of the definitions, and then we have also discussed about what is the importance of time domain analysis, why we want to carry out. So, we will quickly uh, go through it. Time response means the if the output of the system response is same thing as output, okay, and excitation is same thing as input. So if the output of the system is a function of time t, if time varies, output varies, for example. So then the response is called as the time response. Okay. And to understand this, we have seen one example where this is a simple RL circuit. So the current in the RL circuit is given by this equation, which is a very generalized equation. You must be knowing this, that current in RL circuit is I0 1 minus e raised to minus RT by L. So you can see here that as the time changes, current also changes its value. And we have substituted different value for time t, and we have plotted the actual value of the current, which is a steady state value of 1 ampere. For R and L, we have taken 1 ohm and 1 Henry to understand. And we have seen that the output is varying with time t, and that is why this response is called as the time response. Okay. Time response is consists of two components. One is steady state component. Steady state component means which is not varying with time t, and the second component is called as the transient component, which is varying with time t. Okay. So overall time response can be divided into two parts: transient response and steady state response. Transient response is the defined as the output variation during the time it takes to achieve final value. So suppose here, this is the final value output will achieve. So this period in which the output is varying with time t is called as transient response. શું કહેવાશે એને? Transient response, કે જેમાં output ની value continuously change થતી હશે. And once the transient part is over, die out, output has achieved constant value, final value, that is called as the steady state response. Okay. And then we have seen that why transient is present in any output. So transient is present because of energy storage elements or devices. Without that, there will be no transient. And in most of system, physical system, we know that in electrical system, either we have inductor or capacitor, which stores energy. In mechanical system, it will have mass, inertia, spring, elasticity, which stores some energy in different forms. But because of that, output can never achieve the final value directly. Just like as example of a mechanical system, if we switch on any rotating device, let's say if we switch on the fan, it will not achieve its final value directly. It will take some time to reach to its final speed. Because of rotational inertia, it stores kinetic energy 1/2 j omega square, and that is why there is a transient period. Then transient can be of two types in nature. One is called as the exponential response, and second is called as the oscillatory response. Exponential response means the output variation will be exponential in nature. Oscillatory response means output variation will have some changes, which will increase, decrease, and finally it will settle down like this. So in time domain analysis, our interest is first thing to identify whether the output of a system is either exponential or oscillatory for a given system. Second thing, in how much time the transient part will die out, it will over, and in how much time the output will achieve final steady state value. And when it achieves steady state value, the final value is near to the desired value or not. This is all we want to find for any given system, and that is what we'll be doing in time domain analysis. Okay. So time domain analysis, let's say if we talk about the analysis, then analysis can be done using transfer function approach. Transfer function we have already seen. What is a transfer function? Anybody remember? Definition, very simple. Laplace of output to the Laplace of input, assuming initial conditions to be 0. So it is actually nothing. Laplace of output to the Laplace of input, which we call as a CS by RS. And then it will be represented by one single block. So entire your total whole system, except input and output, will be reduced to only one single block. Okay. Now, what is our interest? We want to analyze this output, because see, this is, we are talking about output of system, which is a function of time t. Then obviously you can see it depends upon two factors. First factor is that what is a system here itself, obviously, and secondly it will also depend upon the input given to the system, what kind of input you are giving to the system. So there are two factors which we need to consider in time domain analysis. First thing, system itself, and second thing, nature of input. What will be the output for a given input? किसी सिस्टम में अगर मैं ये इनपुट देता हूं तो आउटपुट क्या होगा? Suppose if I change the nature of input, then what will be the output, and so on. So therefore analysis is carried out for different types of input, which are generally called as the standard test inputs. So first thing we will discuss is about the nature of input. Okay, so there are some commonly used inputs which are considered for the analysis, which are called as the standard test inputs, or you can also call it as the signals. Standard test inputs or standard test signals. Generally, these signals are considered for time domain analysis that are given to different systems. Now, which are this input? So these inputs are generally four inputs we consider. It is called as the step input, ramp input, parabolic input, and impulse input. Fine. So first type of input, let us see, step input. Again, I am repeating, it is a nature of input. I will explain this meaning of nature of input. Fine. Now, what is definition of a step input? What we can consider as a step input. So it is defined as the sudden application of an input at a specified time. It is a sudden application of an input at a specified time. So if I show you how the step input looks like, then this is the nature of input, R of t. This is the time t, and it is suddenly applied. Suddenly applied means the nature can be shown like this. A, magnitude is A. And at t equal to 0, it is applied. I will explain this, don't worry. So what we can write, R of t equal to A, input magnitude, A is input magnitude, for any time which is greater than t or equal to 0. You can see the input is available. And R of t equal to 0 for any time that is. Now let me explain you this. Suppose we have designed some 12-volt circuit. What is rated input? If I say it is a 12-volt circuit, what is the rated input we should give to it? Obviously 12 volt. Obviously 12 volt. So if I switch on that circuit directly on 12 volt, at t equal to 0, I have switched on the circuit to directly 12 volt. It is a step input. That is what I'm talking about. It is a nature. I'm not talking about it is a voltage input. That voltage is given suddenly at any point of time. And after the application, the input remains constant. That is what is a step input. Suppose there is a mechanical system and suppose we want to analyze it as for a step input, and let's say if I apply force of 10 Newton, but that force is directly applied, then it is a step input. So it is the nature of input. It can be anything. It can be voltage, current, force, torque. Input may be anything, but the way it is applied is a nature of input, and that is what is we call as the step input. Okay. Now suppose, for example, just for example, I'm doing it. This is input. Suppose this is at t equal to 2. What we can write? Suppose the magnitude is here is 10, for example. So what I can write for step input? R of t equal to 10 for greater than or equal to 2, and it is, sorry, listen. Understand what is a step function. It is applied at a specified time, and once it is applied, the magnitude of input remains constant and it is suddenly applied. Got it? That is what is called as the step input, one of the most common input to the system. Suppose this is a 230 volt system, I am saying, in any electrical system. If I switch on it directly, it is a step function, step input. Input, it is input. Suppose 230 volt input I have to give to any circuit, and I directly give 230 volt. It is I am giving it as a step function. Yes, that will be an output. We are right now talking about nature of input. See, nature of input also affects output, obviously, because here what is C of S? C of S is nothing, transfer function into input, and then we take the inverse Laplace of this, then obviously input is going to affect. अगर मैं स्टेप के बदले कोई और नेचर का इनपुट दूंगा, we will see later on, then obviously the output will be different. So clear step input. And what is Laplace of step input if we write? So it is R of S, A by S. Laplace of step function is 1 upon S. Actually it is a 1 upon S. A is the magnitude. It may be anything. It may be 1, 10, 100, 1000. We don't know. That depends upon the application. Fine. And suppose if magnitude of input is, let's say, unity 1, it is called as the unit step input, which is given as 1 by okay, clear. Then second type of input is called as the ramp input. Ramp input is defined as it is constant rate of change in input. So it is a gradual application of input. You can. It is gradual application of input. So if I draw the nature, this is the input nature time t, and if the input is given in this way, slope of this line is the magnitude of input. Let's say slope is a. Then what we can write, r of t equal to a into t for t greater than or equal to 0. It is applied at 0. And it is 0 for t. So now same example. Suppose if we have a 12-volt circuit, and instead of directly giving 12 volt, I increase voltage from 0 to 12 volt gradually at a constant rate. Let's say 1 volt per second. So I'm giving voltage 12 volt from 0 to 12 volt, that I'm gradually increasing instead of directly switching it on. The nature of input is called as ramp input. It is same voltage. See, same 12 volt circuit. If I switch on it at 12 volt directly, it is called as the 12 volt directly if I switch on it. So the input I have given is a step input. But the same 12 volt circuit, I give 12 volt using, let's say, auto transformer, variac, anything, or maybe any controlled, let's say you have a controlled source, and you give 0 to 12 volt gradually at a constant rate. So same input is same voltage, but the nature of input is, क्या बोलेंगे ये नेचर को हम, रैंप इनपुट. हाँ, no, we cannot say regulator, because see, it is just what we are doing. We are dropping voltage. We are doing nothing. It is a still step function. But yes, soft starter, you can say. You will study maybe in machines in next semester, where suppose 230 volt if we want to give to fan or maybe any motor, then rated voltage is gradually increased from 0 to rated value using soft starter, which can be considered as a damping. Okay. And what is Laplace of ramp function? Anybody remember Laplace of t? It is 1 upon s square. So remember, the Laplace of ramp input is a by s square. A is the slope of this line. It may be anything. And if a is equals to 1, input magnitude, which is, then it is called as the unit ramp input. R of s is equals to 1 over s square. Third thing, third nature is called as the parabolic input nature. So what is the parabolic input? The input which is 1 degree faster than ramp input. Is called as parabolic input. So if I draw it, R of t time t, and the nature of input will be parabolic. And slope of this line, if you find, it will be at 1 degree faster than, let's say, ramp. For ramp slope is a, for parabolic slope is a into t. Okay, and what is the mathematical expression for parabolic input? Is R of t equal to a t square by 2. This is a mathematical nature of parabolic input, a t square by 2 for t greater than or equal to 0, and it is 0 for t less than. And same way, we why we need Laplace, because ultimately when we will approach the transfer function, it is represented in Laplace domain, and that is why for each input we must be knowing the Laplace. So therefore Laplace of parabolic input is R of s. Laplace of t square by 2, anybody know? Two by s cube. It is 2 by s cube. So when we have a 2 by s cube, this 2 will cancel out. And what is the Laplace? A by s cube. Remember this. If you don't know, don't worry. You have to remember now that Laplace of a parabolic function is a by, if input magnitude a is equals to 1, what we can call this? Unit parabolic input, and which is given as a 1 over. Okay, and last one and most important also. Huh? A can be any magnitude. Let's say if I say 12-volt input, then 12-volt is A. Got it? If I say force, I am giving 10 Newton. 10 Newton is A. But that how 10 Newton is given can be stepped, can be ramped, can be parabolic, or it can be impulsive. Samjha? So that is what I am again repeating, that we are talking about nature of input. Input may be anything, but how it is given, that is what is important. Okay. Fourth one, impulse input. I'll give you some example of impulse input so it will be very clear to you. Okay. It is input applied instantaneously. Instantaneously means sudden, but for a very short duration. of time of very high amplitude. Understand? Applied for a very short duration, even you can say delta t tends to 0. It is applied for a time duration which is even tends to 0 in microsecond. But the magnitude will be very high. I'll give you example to make it clear. So how we can represent it? And I'll explain why impulse input or impulse response is very much important to study. So it can be represented like this. Delta t tends to 0, nearly equal to. Then we might have a doubt that what is the need of such input, which is applied for a very short duration and very high amplitude. So first I will give you the nature of input example, and then I'll explain that why it is important to have impulse input or impulse response. Impulse response means output of a system to impulse input. If I say step response, it is the response of a system to step input. If I say ramp response means output of a system to ramp input. So in somewhere, if you come across like the step response of the system, what it means, whatever output you are talking about is for step input. समझाइए? Let me give you example of impulse response. I'll give you three different examples. First, if you are driving bike, okay, let's say at a speed of 80 km/h. Okay, and suddenly you want to stop it. What do you do? Brake. Which type of brake are capable to stop the bike immediately? Disc brakes. That is an impulse input. You apply for a very short duration, but its impact is so high that even you imagine the moment of inertia, or you can say the energy stored in the bike, it is going at 80 km/h with a huge mass. It will stop it within few seconds and in meters. It will be stopped directly. So disc brake, you apply it for a very short duration of time, but its amplitude is very high that even large mass moving at a very fast speed will come to standstill immediately. This is just to understand. If I give you example of an electrical system, have you seen the transmission lines? Towers, large towers, they are carrying some conductors. ट्रांसमिशन लाइन देखा है सबने? सो ट्रांसमिशन लाइन रेटिंग, एनी आइडिया उसका वोल्टेज रेटिंग क्या होगा? 440 किलोवोल्ट, 440 किलोवोल्ट केवी, 765 kilovolt, 132 kilovolt, 220 kilovolt. These are some ratings you will study in fourth semester. 440 kilovolt, that is 440 into 10⁻³ volt. तो जो दो फेज कंडक्टर के हैं उसके बीच में, that is a line to line voltage, because it is a three phase system, and remember in three phase system whatever voltage rating are given, that are always line voltage, they are not phase voltage. I hope you understand the phase voltage and line voltage difference. Phase voltage means voltage between conductor and neutral point, and line voltage means voltage between two phases. Suppose in three phase system, if I measure the voltage between R phase and neutral, that is we call as the phase voltage. And if we measure the voltage between R phase and Y phase, it is a line voltage, which will be √3 times the phase voltage in star. Okay. So 400 kV line, 400 kV transmission line, which is a very high voltage, extra high voltage line. Now, when lightning, do you know lightning? Lightning struck on the line, transmission line. You study in 6th semester. Lightning is nothing, it is the discharge of electrons. So thousands of volts will discharge into the line. So the voltage of the line will rise above 400 kV, maybe number of times even. You imagine the phenomena of lightning. And that lightning struck will discharge within some microseconds, 20 microseconds, 50 microseconds. Even you cannot blink your eye in that time. Before that, the lightning struck, and there are mechanisms that the lightning will be safely grounded. Lightning arrestor, you might know. And in tall buildings, you will see that there is at the top they put some device, lightning arrestor. It is called as the everywhere in tall buildings you will find the lightning arrestor. That is to protect against lightning. Otherwise, if it will struck on the building or equipments, it may get severe damage. It is a thousands of volts. So even 400 kV, we call it as extra high voltage, but that line is also subjected to very high severe over voltage when the lightning struck. And that will struck only for few microsecond. I am saying that is a phenomena of microsecond. You must have seen some videos. When the lightning struck, what will happen? It is just a blink of eye. Before that, it is disappeared. So lightning is an impulse. For a 400 kV line, 400 kV ऐसे ही हमको लगता है कि ये तो काफी ज्यादा वोल्टेज है, पर उसके लिए भी when the lightning struck, that will be even the voltage will rise by number of times, उससे भी ज्यादा. लेकिन वो कितने समय के लिए होगा? For microsecond. And that line has to withstand that over voltage. उसको वो it has to be capable. वो उसका डिजाइन ऐसा होना चाहिए कि वो कैपेबल होना चाहिए कि अगर लाइटनिंग स्ट्रक होता है then there should be no physical practical damage. ठीक है? That is what is an example of impulse. 12 वोल्ट सर्किट आपने डिजाइन किया है, फॉर एग्जांपल आपके कंपोनेंट्स, those components are 12 volt rated. And in the field, it may happen that sometimes it may be subjected to, let's say, more than 12 volt, 200 volt. आपकी एप्लीकेशन ऐसी है कि आप जो सर्किट डिजाइन कर रहे हैं वो फील्ड में कहीं जाएगा और चांसेस है कि sometimes it may have voltage which is 10 times, 20 times its rated value. Then 200 volt given to 12 volt circuit is nothing, is an impulse. It is a relative magnitude. ऐसा नहीं कि thousands of volt है तो ही उसको impulse बोलेंगे. 12 volt के लिए 200 volt is an impulse क्योंकि वो relative है. उसकी रेटिंग से नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स ज्यादा अगर उसको दे दिया जाए एज एन इनपुट, इट इज एन impulse nature. And generally the circuits equipments are tested for impulse because in practice there are certain phenomena which will generate impulse. You will study in 6th semester there, and that is what impulse response is one of the most important aspect of the study in system design. समझ में आ गया impulse क्या है? So that is why we can write how to mathematically express the impulse response or impulse input is R equal to A for, you can say, T equal to 0. 0 why we are taking? Because it is for a very short period, and it is 0 for T is not equal to 0. समझ में आ रहा है ना ये कैसे हम इक्वेशन लिख रहे हैं उसके लिए? Got it? Laplace of impulse input is simply A, because it is not time dependent. So it will remain as it is A. And if negligible, it is negligible. If A is equals to 1, it is called as the now you will find that what is need of unit impulse input. Unit impulse means the magnitude of this is unit. To understand this, let me tell you, suppose CS by RS is having some transfer function. It can be anything. We have solved number of examples. So this transfer function block can be anything depending upon the design of system. Now if I say unit impulse response, what it means, I am sorry, just a moment. What we are doing, unit impulse response means here just a moment. I'll share it again. What is C? What is RS? If I say unit impulse, what is RS? What is input? Unit impulse means A. Unit impulse. Unit क्या रहता है ये आपने? If the magnitude is 1, so RS is 1. So if I say CS by RS, that is transfer function into RS is, what is RS? 1. Suppose if I say that I have given unit impulse as an input, then output will it be having any effect of input? No. So what is requirement of such analysis? Then let me tell you, unit impulse response is required to evaluate behavior of system itself. કોઈ input માટે નહીં, પણ system નું પોતાનું behavior of system itself, how the system will behave is a system itself without any input. That is what is you can get it from unit impulse response. Characteristic of system itself, I can say. कोई सिस्टम आपने डिजाइन किया and how the system characteristic is without any input. अगर मुझे देखना है कि कोई input नहीं है, but how the system would have a characteristic, how it would respond. Then that is what is the importance of unit impulse response. Okay, clear. So there are 4 inputs we have, which are most commonly used inputs for analysis, time domain analysis. I would say step function or step input, ramp input, parabolic input, and impulse. Here, then let us start. Let me summarize here. R of t is the input, and its nature or expression and its Laplace. So step, ramp, parabolic, and expression of this is at. For t greater than 0, I am writing only, sorry, not at, it is a. Here it is at, a t square by 2, and here it is a. अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंस, यहाँ पे भी a लिखा है, यहाँ पे भी a लिखा है, लेकिन ये दोनों में डिफरेंस क्या है? ये जो इनपुट है दैट इज कॉन्स्टेंटली अप्लाइड इनपुट फॉर पीरियड t ग्रेटर देन और इक्वल टू 0, उसका मैग्नीट्यूड है वो कांस्टेंट है आफ्टर इट्स एप्लीकेशन, और यहाँ पे जो इनपुट है दैट इज ओनली फॉर, तो दोस टू आर डिफरेंट। समझ में आ गया? भले ही यहाँ पे a लिखा है, यहाँ पे a लिखा है, ये जो इनपुट है वो कांस्टेंटली अप्लाइड इनपुट है फॉर कंटिन्यूअस पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, और यहाँ पे जो इनपुट है दैट इज अप्लाइड फॉर ए वेरी शॉर्ट पीरियड। सो देयर इज अ डिफरेंस, अंडरस्टैंड। कंफ्यूजन नहीं होना चाहिए कि ये दोनों का why it is a. Okay, and what is the Laplace of step? A by s, a by s square, and suppose if the magnitude is unity, then we can say 1 by s. Okay, one more point, at, if I take the derivative of at, क्या मिलेगा? Derivative means d by dt. It is time domain, so if we differentiate it with respect to time t, at को अगर मैं differentiate करूंगा क्या मिलेगा? भूल गया? d by dt at, a is a constant, क्या मिलेगा आंसर इसका? हाँ, a, it is a is a constant. Suppose a is 10, so d by dt 10 t is nothing, it is a. हाँ कि ना? So actually step is a derivative of ramp function. Step input is a derivative of ramp input. Okay, if I take derivative of parabolic, obviously, how, what is at square by 2? If I take derivative, then 2 आगे आ जाएगा, and d t square by t, so it is dt by dt, and it is t and a, and this 2 will cancel out, so it is 8. So and if I take derivative of step, it is impulse. और in another way, इसको मैं अलग तरीके से लिखूं, if I write it in a different way, this is integral. So ramp is an integral of step. Step is an integral of ramp is an integral of step. Parabolic is an integral of ramp, and ramp step का अगर मैं इंटीग्रल लूंगा तो क्या मिलेगा? समझाता हूं कैसे। इंटीग्रल मीन्स, इंटीग्रल का मतलब क्या होगा? व्हाट डू यू डू व्हेन डू यू इंटीग्रेट? इंटीग्रेट करोगे तब क्या करोगे? व्हाट इज योर आइडिया ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन? इंटीग्रेशन करोगे तो क्या होता है? नो नो नो, व्हाट इज बेसिक इंटीग्रेशन? इंटीग्रेशन का मतलब क्या हुआ? इट इज वेरी सिंपल, आंसर इज वेरी सिंपल। इंटीग्रेशन का मतलब इंटीग्रेशन डिफरेंशिएशन, अगर व्हाट इज बेसिक इंटीग्रेशन इन डिफरेंशिएशन यू डोंट नो, यू विल नॉट अंडरस्टैंड दिस। इंटीग्रेट करना क्या होता है? कौन सा मैथमेटिकल ऑपरेशन होता है इंटीग्रेशन यानी? क्या? ये आप लिखते हो ना इंटीग्रेशन में से, सपोज 0 to t समथिंग dt, तो आप एक्चुअली ये करते क्या हो? ये जो है वो लिमिट। इंटीग्रेशन इज नथिंग, इट इज ए समेशन, इट इज ए समेशन। हाँ, it is a summation, integration is nothing, it is a summation। आप उसको ऐड करते जाओगे, कहाँ से स्टार्ट करोगे? यहाँ से स्टार्ट करोगे और ये वैल्यू तक जो भी मिल रहा है उसको क्या करोगे आप? दैट इज व्हाट इज इंटीग्रेशन। समझ में आया कि नहीं आया? अब समझो, चलो। ये एक फंक्शन है, इसका वैल्यू है 1, तो हर एक पॉइंट पे इसका वैल्यू क्या होगा? चलो, ये t इक्वल टू 0 है, ये t इक्वल टू 1 है, t इक्वल टू 2 है, t इक्वल टू 3 है। समझ में आया? ये क्या ड्रॉ किया मैंने? हर एक टाइम पे मैं इसका वैल्यू कितना लेता हूँ? 1। ये कौन सा फंक्शन है मुझे बताओ? ये मैंने क्या ड्रॉ किया है यहाँ पे? ये कौन सा फंक्शन ड्रॉ किया है आपके सामने यहाँ पे? कौन सा नेचर है? इट इज अ स्टेप इनपुट, स्टेप नेचर। समझ में आ गया? ये स्टेप फंक्शन है ना, जिसका वैल्यू कांस्टेंट रहेगा। ठीक है। इंटीग्रेशन मीन्स, इसको मैं सपोज t इक्वल टू 0 3 4 5, इसको मैं t 0 to 5 में इंटीग्रेट करता हूँ, यानी मैं क्या करूंगा? ये वैल्यू और ये वैल्यू को क्या कर दूंगा? क्या करूंगा? ऐड कर दूंगा। तो यहाँ पे क्या वैल्यू होगी? ये इस पॉइंट पे 1 + 1 2 होगा। इस पॉइंट पे क्या वैल्यू होगा? इस पॉइंट पे क्या होगा? इस पॉइंट पे 5। लेट मी प्लॉट दैट। ये मैंने इसको इंटीग्रेट किया, वो कैसे दिखेगा अगर मुझे देखना है? तो t इक्वल टू 0 पे उसका वैल्यू क्या है? समझ में आ रहा है मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ? ये है 1, ये है 2, ये है 3, ये है 4, ये है 5। t इक्वल टू 0 पे उसका वैल्यू क्या है? 1 है। चलो, तो इसको मैं लिख देता हूँ, सपोज 1 2 3 4 5 1 है। अच्छा, 1 पे उसका वैल्यू क्या होगा अगर मैं उसको इंटीग्रेट किया तो? 2 पे, 3 पे क्या बन गया ये? समझाणो या सी दिस अगेन। इसको मैं अगर इंटीग्रेट करता हूं तो 1 + 2 3 + 3 6 + 4, उसको अगर मैं प्लॉट करूंगा तो क्या बनेगा? पैराबोलिक। आई होप थिंग्स आर क्लियर नाउ, है कि नहीं? अच्छा, अच्छा अब बताओ डिफरेंशिएशन में क्या करते हैं? सबट्रैक्शन। इसका अगर मैं डिफरेंशिएशन लेता हूँ रैंप का, सपोज इसका और इसका क्या होगा वैल्यू, बताओ मुझे। 1। इसका और इसका, इसका और इसका प्लॉट करूंगा तो क्या बनेगा? आई होप नाउ यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस पॉइंट। समझाइए। इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट इट इज वेरी इजी। मैथमेटिक्स इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर दिस। याद रखना पड़ेगा। एमसीक्यू में पूछा, चलो व्हाट इज द डेरिवेटिव ऑफ रैंप, क्या आंसर है? स्टेप। व्हाट इज इंटीग्रल ऑफ रैंप? ठीक है। सो that is what is the nature of input. Again I am repeating, it may be anything, ये voltage होगा, current होगा, input can be anything, force होगा, torque होगा, ये कोई सिस्टम में जो आप इनपुट दे रहे हो वो इनपुट होगा। लेकिन उस इनपुट को आप कौन से नेचर, कौन से तरीके से दे रहे हो, उसको आप स्टेप फंक्शन से दे रहे हो, रैंप फंक्शन से दे रहे हो, इनपुट नेचर से, सॉरी पैराबोलिक नेचर से दे रहे हो, या इम्पल्स, दैट इज व्हाट इज the analysis of effect of input on output we want to study, and for that we will be considering this inputs as a standard inputs. कोई डाउट है इसमें? क्लियर? ठीक है। then time is about to over. In next class we will discuss about, as I have said previously, that we want analysis of both the part, transient part as well as steady state part. Whether it is exponential or oscillatory, we want to analyze transient response as well as we want to also analyze steady state response. So both the analysis are done in a different way. And in the next class, we will start with first part, that is a steady state response analysis. So पहले हम क्या देखेंगे? steady state response analysis, उसका importance, why do we want to carry out steady state response analysis, हमें क्यों करना है और उसको कैसे करते हैं, कोई इस सिस्टम के लिए हाउ टू कैरी आउट स्टेडी स्टेट रिस्पांस एनालिसिस, ये चीज। वंस वी कंप्लीट स्टेडी स्टेट रिस्पांस एनालिसिस, उसके बाद क्या करेंगे इस चैप्टर में? उसके बाद क्या कर सकते हैं? स्टेडी स्टेट रिस्पांस एनालिसिस हमने कर लिया, उसके बाद क्या होगा? व्हाट विल बी द नेक्स्ट स्टेप? क्या बचा अभी इसमें? Yes, then the later part will be transient response analysis, and that is what is all about time domain analysis. हमें ये करना है इस चैप्टर के अंदर। एक पार्ट होगा उसमें हम स्टेडी स्टेट रिस्पांस एनालिसिस करेंगे, दूसरा पार्ट होगा उसमें हम टाइम ट्रांजिएंट रिस्पांस एनालिसिस करेंगे, एंड ओवरऑल रिस्पांस, ओवरऑल दोनों को कंबाइन करेंगे, देन इट इज कॉल्ड एज द टाइम रिस्पांस एनालिसिस, जिसमें हमने पूरे आउटपुट को एनालाइज किया। समझ में आ गया? ठीक है। So that is what we'll stop here. Now remember this about the step, ramp, parabolic and impulse function. Okay. So in next class our session will start with the steady state response analysis. Okay. Amit, enter your enrollment number in the chat box so that I will end the meeting then. Okay. આમાં શું થાય કે ડેઈલી